Okay, so today we're diving into the pretty wild, fast-moving world of AI art. But, we're not going to start with all the tech jargon. Instead, we're going to look at it from a really human perspective, through the eyes of someone who calls himself the AI Grandad. We're going to ask, what does all this really mean for our creativity?
I mean, this quote, it just takes you right back, doesn't it? For so many of us, that's exactly what art class was. It was all about the physical stuff, right? The feel of the tools, those very specific smells. But wow, the world of art is changing fast. And the tools we're using to bring our ideas to life, they're changing right along with it.
So, let's get into our first section, which is all about this incredible shift. We're talking about going from tools you can literally hold in your hand to the world of words, which is way more abstract, but man, is it powerful.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there, staring at a bowl of fruit, just trying our best to make the apple not look like some weird, lumpy potato. That took a certain kind of skill, a certain kind of coordination. But what if you could create a masterpiece just by describing it? Well, that's not science fiction anymore. That's what's happening with AI art.
And this really just lays it all out. The classic artist toolkit, the pencils, the brushes, the canvas, it's not going away, but it's getting some new neighbors. And those neighbors are language, prompts, and pixels. This is a huge deal because it's not just a new tool, it's a whole new way of thinking about what it even means to create something.
Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work? Let's break down what's really going on behind the scenes with these new tools.
The really important thing to get here is that you're not coding, you're communicating. Think of it like this. You're a movie director, and the AI is your incredibly talented but very, very literal actor. You have to use your words to guide it, to get it to create the exact scene you see in your head.
And I just love this quote because it captures the whole transformation so perfectly. The skill isn't just about having a steady hand anymore. It's about how precise you can be with your ideas, with your language. Your words, they're the new paintbrush.
But here's the thing you got to remember. At its core, this is all still driven by us, by human creativity. It starts with your vision, something only you can come up with. The text prompt is just the bridge. And then the AI, that's the tool that brings your one-of-a-kind idea to life.
All right, this next part is a really big deal. Let's talk about one of the most powerful ideas around AI art. How it could basically democratize creativity, making it for everyone.
I mean, for a long, long time, art has felt kind of exclusive, right? It felt like it was for people with some kind of magical talent or people who could afford all the fancy supplies. And that blank canvas, so intimidating. Well, AI is starting to tear down those walls.
And this is the real game changer. You don't need a bunch of money for materials or years of training. All you really need to bring to the table is your own curiosity. It's an open invitation for anyone with an idea to just play, to experiment and create, without that old fear of messing up holding you back.
But what about that little voice in your head, that voice that says, I can't draw? I mean, that feeling has stopped so many people from even trying to be creative. It's been a massive roadblock for ages. But this is something different.
This quote just hits the nail on the head. It's not about replacing skill at all. It's about empowering your expression. It's the difference between saying, I can't draw a horse, and saying, here, let me show you the magnificent horse I see in my mind.
Okay, but let's address the big question here. Does this just make us lazy? Is the machine doing all the work? The answer is a huge no. Actually, it does the opposite. It puts a giant spotlight on the single most important part of the whole process, our imagination.
Look, an AI is an incredible tool. It's unbelievably powerful, but it's never felt nostalgia. It doesn't understand wonder. It can't feel joy. We do. That's our job. That's where we come in.
This chart really breaks down the partnership. The AI handles the execution, the technical painting. But our job is to be the director, to provide the meaning. The AI can spit out a visually stunning picture, sure, but only a human can give that picture a story, a feeling, a soul.
So, if you take one thing away from this section, let it be this. The machine might paint the picture, but you paint the meaning. You're still the artist, always.
So where does this all go from here? What's the future look like in this new world of human and machine collaboration? Let's talk about our creative future.
When you step back and look at the big picture, you realize art and tech have always been partners. We went from painting on cave walls to using canvas, to inventing the camera, and now we're using code. The tools always change. AI is just the next logical step in a very, very long story.
And really, that's the key takeaway here. This isn't about replacing human creativity, it's about expanding it. It's a tool that's opening up doors to expression that we're only just starting to peek through.
So, for the next generation, the challenge is going to be a little different. It might be less about mastering the perfect brushstroke and more about a new kind of skill, learning how to dream responsibly, how to use these insanely powerful tools with empathy and with a real sense of purpose.
Because at the end of the day, the real magic here isn't about making a perfect copy of the world we already have. It's about imagining better ones. This is a tool that lets us visualize things we've never seen before, to actually see our wildest ideas.
So I want to leave you with this question to think about. What kind of art are your grandchildren going to make in a world where imagination and technology are basically one and the same? I mean, what new wonders are they going to create when the only limit is what they can dream up? The future of art is wide open. It's just waiting for us to paint it.